Well, a review into students' writing standards has found skills have declined significantly in every key area. Analysis of 10 million writing results from years 3 to 9 found most Year 9 students are structuring sentences at a level expected of those 2 years they're junior and using punctuation like children in Year 3.
For more, we're joined. I think I nearly said wow, which I thought that's.
Wow.
My vocabulary's not.
Hashtag wow OMG.
We're joined by journalist Suzanne Mostyn, who has a beautiful vocab, and in Canberra, and Joe Hildebrand here on the couch.
It is delightful to be sharing your company, my dear.
You know, I was so careful reading that introduction.
And have I shown you my vocab?
What is we talking about today, then?
Yes.
Suze, we will start with you. Do we need to get back to basics?
Of course, it's the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. And I think this is such a sad but very serious issue. Declining standards, they've rarely been this bad. And what it does, it prevents all of our young people from reaching their future full potential. You know, the ability to communicate and effectively is essential, as we know, in all aspects of life. Expressing yourself to other people, filling out forms, dealing with family, friends, and importantly, employers. And that all decreases if people aren't able to function the way they should in society. I heard the author of the report this morning. It was very interesting. She said one of the key issues, and it has caused this, is that teachers, many of them, lack the confidence to teach the basics of literacy. And she thinks we need to teach the teachers how to teach.
Okay. Joe, in New South Wales, it's just been announced that the class of 2026 will be forced to study mathematics, with the subject becoming compulsory again for Year 12 students. Yep. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. It's because not only are these the jobs that we need, we all know that we've got shortages in STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths, if that's right, but it is also good for people. I was one of those people who coasted through when psychology was considered a science and did that instead. And I actually really wish I'd done...
So you were the subject or you...
Oh.
No, it wasn't voluntary. They strapped me down.
So just confirming you were the bully?
But again, that's the 3 R's, isn't it? The reading, writing and arithmetic. And one of the interesting things is that the reason why some educators say that the writing is so bad is because there's been too much of a focus on reading. I find that difficult to believe, given that you can't have enough reading unless the curriculum is overcrowded with other stuff as well. And we do know that, as Sue said, teachers lack the confidence. We are not teaching the teachers. That often teaching, and this is a terrible thing because I love teachers, my whole family are teachers,
yes.
but teaching is often a degree of last resort. It's what you do if you can't you don't have the marks or you can't get into any of the other degrees, and it's seen as a kind of way to get a secure job. So that's got to change as well.
If you look at the syllabus now, it used to be you read the book and then you have to write an essay. Now there's movies that you watch. And they've expanded it, which is kind of great, but it maybe has come at the expense of the old-fashioned written essay. Would you agree?
It's great if you've got a PhD who is holding an undergraduate tutorial with 12 students. You can get into that sort of stuff. But if you're actually teaching a bunch of 13 and 14-year-olds...
Basic essay writing has gone the way of the dodo. They just don't teach it. Even that basic sort of hamburger, the bun, the meat, the other bun. And those are the basics that the teachers, hopefully the author of this report, will help encourage to get exemplars, which are the best possible example of reading, writing, arithmetic.
Okay. All right, guys, let's move on because we've got some other things to get through. And so-called discretionary charges are leaving diners angry as top restaurants add extra service charges to their bills. Now, some are explained, for example, 10% on public holidays or weekends, we all know that, but some eateries are adding a percentage to the final bill for groups, or sometimes without any reason at all. Suze, is this just sort of forced tipping? Is it going to leave a bad taste in your mouth?
That's it. Larry couldn't have said it better. I thought it ended with cakeage and corkage. You know, those outrageous things, $8 a bottle or $12 per person per slice of cake that you bring in. And I've always known about it for group bookings, but seriously, these just seem like really sneaky. Be upfront, make it part of the fine print, but not in invisible ink. You know, most people have had a skinful when they pay. They don't look. It's a bit rough.
Joe, yay or nay?
Well, I know James Corden's not a fan.
Yeah, this is what tipped him over the edge.
That's right. I think this is really dodgy, I think, for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's counterproductive because if you put a 7 or 10% surcharge on there and people say that, say, fine, I'm not tipping then. Whereas otherwise, they would probably have tipped at least 15% because if you don't tip 15%, everyone knows you're a tight ass. So they would have done that. People like, I think, the cachet of tipping, of being seen to be generous. So that takes away part of that pleasure of the dining experience. I reckon it's used as a mask to artificially make the posh restaurants or bars not look as expensive as they really are. So you think,
Joe,
$8 for a beer, that's all right, and then you find out it's turned.
You haven't worked in hospo, you've never been a waiter. It is tough out there. I mean, you know, not everybody tips for the largesse of it and to be seen to be tipping. If you get good service, it's worth 15, at least 15%. And so many people are working super hard because there just aren't enough waiters and baristas at the moment. So it's a tough one.
Finally, relationship age gaps are making headlines at the moment. 81-year-old billionaire and owner of an NFL team, Robert Kraft, married 47-year-old Dr. Dana Bloomberg last week. Rumours are swirling about the 20-year-old pop star Billie Eilish dating 31-year-old singer Jesse Rutherford. Joe, why does this get written about? Why do we care so much?
I think we're actually missing the real story here, which is finally the guy with braces got the pretty girl.
Never before.
I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
Before.
Where was this guy when I was in year 10? And I needed a hero.
Suze, is there an age gap that's just too big, do you reckon?
Well, my question about this is she's an ophthalmologist. So what did she see in him? I don't know. And you know what they say though? It's not the size of the wallet that matters, it's what you do with it. So, you know, we've had many examples. They met in a bar, and Mary and Fred met in a bar.
Yes.
Anna Nicole Smith and J. Howard Marshall, the billionaire, met in a
Love
bar.
it.
There's something going on.
Bars.
And, you know, the other thing is a good marriage is one where each partner thinks that they've got the better deal. I reckon this is representative of that, don't you think?
It's great. Do you know what? If he's a billionaire, he owns an NFL team, he'd be like switched on and pretty fabulous.
That's right. Although I have to say the only thing I use my wallet for is tap and go.
The interesting thing about him, Robert Kraft, he's in his 80s. He was married to his college sweetheart for more than 50 years. She died of ovarian cancer, and he's been bereft and upset ever since. He's had a string of girlfriends. He just recently, I think off the back of this relationship with the doctor, because his wife went through so much struggle and the expense, he said a lot of people can't afford the hospital. He gave $50 million to Mass General Hospital.
Yes,
so that he is doing good things with his wallet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Turns out
Just
you
the
can
point
buy
I
me
was
one.
making.
Kylie thinks it's a beautiful relationship. Because he's a billionaire, it's okay. Thank you, guys.
I didn't say that. I just said he's had a lot going on. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Suze. We are out of time.
Thanks, Carlos.
Have your say on today's topics over at the Morning Show Twitter page and use the hashtag TMS7.
Bless. I think they'll be very happy.